Hi, I'm delighted to be joined today by Noel Ashpole, who is Managing Partner of BDO here in Thailand. Noel is also the chair of the Women in Business group for the BCCT. It's an important group for the BCCT and it's been well led with an enthusiastic team of supporters. Noel, what are the objectives of the Women in Business group?
So the Women in Business, we have really three objectives. The first is to try and increase the participation of women within the BCCT. So that's both attending events, that's also presenting as well. The second objective is really to provide an environment to support women. Often they have different needs which basically aren't always easily met. And then the third area is really to enable us to highlight some of the successes of women in business with a focus within the British community.
That's excellent, and certainly they're very important points that the BCCT is totally aligned to. How have you translated that into events, perhaps events you've run or perhaps events you have planned for later this year?
So to meet it, we're kind of looking at a mixture of different events, networking events, so that women can meet one-on-one and share their experience, presentations and panel discussions where women can basically present kind of the challenges. And I think going forward, we're looking to get a mentorship program going. That we're still at the early stages of trying to figure out what it's going to look like. Is it through workshops? Is it through matching kind of the younger members with the more experienced? And also we're looking to do some wellness events as well. So physical wellness, particularly in a COVID environment. So
excellent, a sort of full and varied set of
yes.
events. And it's also important to stress that male or female, man or woman, both can
yes.
attend and be part of it. Despite the badging, it is for everyone to attend and get involved and support you.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's important that, I think there's two key aspects. Is part of the successful woman is often the men around her, so that's whether it's the husband or workmates. So it's important that there is a collaboration between the two. And I think also, particularly in terms of helping get gender equality in the workplace, I think there's an important aspect of everybody understanding what needs to happen really in the workplace. Policies, procedures, support programs that you can put in place is very important, and I think that takes everybody to basically make it really work. So it's trying to be very inclusive in terms of how we work.
Excellent, thank you. Now, looking at yourself, your business, you've been a member of the BCCT for quite some time now.
Yes.
How have you benefited from your membership?
Two key areas is firstly the networking, making the connections. That's very important just to kind of have the opportunity through the BCCT events. And secondly, it's education through the webinars and the topics that are covered. So I think that's the two. I think the third area is what we're trying to also do is get some of our younger team. We obviously work in an environment similar to Grant Thornton where your employees are most of them below 30. So providing them an opportunity to attend events and themselves develop networking skills, I think, is another good advantage of it.
Excellent, thank you for that. We're working in some of the most challenging times going, our COVID era, which is, I think we're about 18 months into it, and
yes.
there still appears to be a long way to go. How has COVID and the pandemic impacted your business here in Thailand?
Interestingly, we kind of started about 18 months ago, so we've only known a COVID environment. What it has allowed us to do is to build work practices and a culture which enables a work from home. So it's very much focused on digital, using Zoom and Teams to communicate with the teams as well. Paperless is very important to us. We opted for serviced offices. We've moved office 2 or 3 times. On average, it takes about an hour because all people have is their laptop to move. So I think it's provided a base which I think once this era is over, I think will become part of the way that we work. So I think it's been in some ways advantageous. I think the disadvantage is just that face-to-face contact, and I think where, again, going back to a young workforce where you are trying to teach them, there's a lot of coaching that goes on. I think that does present some challenges as well.
Okay, thank you. It is a challenging time out there. Just turning now to yourself, it'd be great if you could perhaps share with our audience an interesting fact or something about yourself that perhaps others wouldn't know.
I think me, it's probably about the family. I have 4 kids. I think the COVID has been a challenge. I think work-wise, starting up a business and then dealing with 4 kids, or 3 ones at university, at home has been a huge challenge, but has given us an opportunity to really get to know each other as a family, which I think has been, we've been relatively close as a family. I think we're even closer now, and we've all kind of had to tolerate and compromise with each other. So yeah, so family, very family orientated.
Thank you, Noel. Thank you for sharing your vision for the Women in Business, for the British Chamber, and for all the excellent work you do here in Thailand, generally in running your business, and great to learn a little bit about your family. We wish you all the best for the future, and thank you for joining us on this videocast.